Hey, happy Monday. So I'm trying something new, trying to go live on Monday mornings. I'm not sure like what time or how this is all gonna work, but instead of doing Monday messages, we're gonna be talking about different dating topics every Monday morning live. So hopefully you guys will be here with me. And so today we're gonna talk about this topic that I see, call it a problem or a situation that I see happen with a lot of my clients where we do our sessions or we do coaching, and right away I can tell that the reason that they're not finding love is because of something that they're actually doing, which none of us want to hear that, but it's the truth. So I remember when I was dating, I was going on a bunch of dates and like really saying that I was dating, and like I thought I was really dating, like I thought I was putting effort into it, I thought I was really trying. And then one day I realized that I was actually lying, that I was pretending that I was going on these dates. I was pretending that I was looking for love. I was pretending that I was open to it, when in fact really all I was doing was waiting for the possibility of my ex to come back. And I thought that I was I was dating with an open heart, but the truth is, like, I really was waiting and hoping that my ex would change his mind and that like he would want to get back with me, and I was really convinced that like he was the love of my life and that we were meant to be together and all these things. So I would go on these dates and say that I was looking, and it was a while, it was a few years or so, but I was really just trying to self-sabotage myself, and I was really just trying to say that I was doing it not work out, so that I can then say that like, oh my God, it's because I'm supposed to be with this person. And it wasn't until the day that I decided to, oh my God, like have a conversation with the person, right? So, when if you're listening to this and you think that this may be you, that perhaps you're going on these dates and perhaps you're trying, but if your ex or somebody that you had in mind is still in the back of your mind, you have to ask yourself, are you waiting and hoping and wishing that that's going to work out, and in the meantime you're just pretending that you're dating? Or are you really over that? Have you closed that door, and are you opened your heart to something else? I think a lot of times when we're getting over a breakup or going through or just passing over a relationship that didn't work out, we think that the solution is, oh well, when I find somebody else that I make a connection with, then I'll finally get over that other person. And that is not the truth. We actually have to create space for that other person. And it doesn't mean that, I expect you to be over that person overnight, but to really tell your mind that like, this is not going to happen. There's not a possibility for this. And some of us have the option of closure and being able to like have another conversation with that person. Some of us will not. I remember that the day that I met my husband was actually the day that I closed the door on the on the past relationship that I had. I had a conversation with that person that day. I was like, listen, is there any chance here? Like, are we ever gonna get back? Are we gonna keep doing this like, half in, half out? And I'm super grateful that he was very honest with me, and he was like, listen, I just don't feel it in my gut. I just don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's gonna work. And for the first time I listened, because it's not like he hadn't said this before. He had told me this before. He told me this when we broke up, but I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to, in my head, I was just like, oh, there's maybe a maybe, or he's still in love with me. Like, those are the things that I wanted to hear. So I went through life looking to hear those things rather than hearing what really was the truth. And that conversation I finally was able to hear. So if you're in this situation that perhaps you may be waiting around for somebody or hoping that something, and sometimes, it's funny, it's not just like we're hoping and wishing, but it's like we have somebody in the on deck, like almost like somebody in the back burner. So it's like we have like a backup plan. We're thinking like, oh, I'll date a bunch, and if that doesn't work out, well, I can always go back to this person. And even though we might not be crazy about that person or super in love, we just think like, well, if nothing really works out, then I'll just date this person. And when we date like that, it's like, when you have a backup plan, like, you don't really have to try. You don't really have to believe and do the hard work that it takes to find the love that you deserve, to find like what is really true for you, to find, the unicorn of a person that you wish and believe that exists for you. If you believe that if there's somebody on the, the back burner for you, if you have a backup plan, then why would you go through that work? You don't have to go through that work, right? So really making sure that there's no plan B, that there's no waiting for an ex or anything like that. And the reason we do that is to have enough space to find the right person for us, to really have a full heart rather than a half heart. So today I ask you to ask yourself that question. Like, am I in this purgatory? Am I, thinking about my ex? Am I thinking that, about my backup plan? Or am I conscious that I have a full heart and I'm dating with my full heart? And if you do think you have a backup plan, if you do think you're waiting and hoping, then have the conversation if you can. I know not everybody can get that closure, but I want you to have that conversation and ask honestly and be like, is there a chance for us? And then I want you to really listen, and not just listen for what you want to hear, but listen for what they're actually saying with open ears, with your full intuition. And sometimes they may tell you something that you want to hear, but your intuition is telling you that they're lying. And I want you to really listen for that, because that is the thing that's going to snap your mind into being like, okay, this is never going to happen. And that is what creates the space for the right person for you. I was doing that forever. And the day that like my mind clicked, coincidentally, was the day that I met my husband. I met him during like earlier in the night, and then I had that conversation at the end of the night. And our path was kind of zigzaggy. I can tell you guys about that another day. But basically, like, I wouldn't have been opened to my now husband if I wouldn't have had that conversation. Like, after that conversation, I was like, okay, it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen, Nikki. Like, even if you're still, heartbroken, like, it's never gonna happen. And that, when the reality like sat in, I was like, okay, well then if I really want this thing and I want love, then I have to be open to it. So that's what today is about. I want you to ask yourself, like, am I in the middle? Am I honestly sitting and waiting for somebody? I've had people call me and want me to tell them that they're gonna marry their husband. I'm sorry, their exes, that like that's their fate, or like that's what I see for them in the future. And I can't tell them that. And I can tell them that that's not what I see, and I've had people try to give me the runaround and explain to them why I'm wrong. But I can just, I can see that when that person is hoping and wishing and kind of waiting in the middle. And I know that sounds harsh, but the truth is there's something better for you. Like, that relationship didn't work out because there were some things that you didn't like, that didn't work for you. And when you really get honest about the things that you really want and that you really know you deserve, then you'll start to see that, oh, like, yeah, I guess I was a little off here, and that there's this possibility of like an even better person. And that was the case for me. Like, every day I thank God that I ended up with my husband, because the things that he has, the other person didn't have, and it would have never worked. And that's why it didn't work in the first place. So really giving yourself that opportunity to have that kind of love by saying no to the stuff that's kind of mediocre, that's not really working for you, that didn't work, that there's tons of problems, that it's complicated, or it's not good enough, right? Like the people that we have as our backup plan, like the connection's not strong enough, like the love is not strong enough, or the things that you want are not there. You have to be able to be honest with yourself and put that and say goodbye to that. Really say goodbye. Close that door so that you can then call in the stuff that is really for you. Okay? So hope that helped you guys out. I'll be here every Monday. I promise to give you like a better time. I'm thinking like 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, something like that. But we'll see how it goes, okay? Much love to you.